Hello guys, welcome to the Asian channel. If you enjoy topics like this, please don't forget to subscribe. It would really be a huge help to my channel. Since the start of the Russian-Ukraine war, Ukraine has asked for tanks many times from NATO, but for no avail. Since then, Ukraine has received a lot of armor from NATO member states that were formerly members of the Warsaw Pact, mainly T-72s but also, more recently, T-55s, which has high compatibility with the country's large armored vehicles made up of Soviet-built T-64 and T-72 tanks. The supply of Western-built tanks, however, never materialized, despite Western arms shipments to Kiev worth tens of billions of dollars. So why? What's the reason behind this? The two most commonly used tanks by NATO member states are the German Leopard 1 and the American M1 Abrams. I personally believe there are 5 main factors that prevents the delivery of modern Western tanks to Ukraine. The first reason is the threat of Leopard 2 and the M1 Abrams getting captured. These two tanks is the most heavily used tank by NATO members and by Western-aligned states across the world. Tanks are among the easiest pieces of equipment to capture due to their frontline roles, as opposed to artillery or aircraft, which can still contribute to operations even behind the friendly lines. The Abrams and Leopard 2 could provide valuable intelligence to the Russian military should even a single vehicle is captured. On similar situation, Russia's most advanced tank in service, the captured T-90M, is expected to be immediately sent to the U.S. to be studied. The second factor is that the prior performances of both the Abrams and Leopard 2 against non-state actors has raised significant questions regarding their effectiveness, with Turkish Leopard 2s and the Iraqi Abrams both have taken heavy losses to the Islamic State and other militia groups, while Saudi Arabia's Abrams has also seen losses in Yemen. In 2016, Turkish Army Leopard 2s in Aleppo, Syria, faced humiliating losses during combat against Islamic State. They were using weapons that's far from state-of-the-art. It receives mockery even from Western media. Some are even saying that the tank showed numerous faults and tanks was exposed in lethal fashion. Others called the performance shocking and even suggested that the tank is not that good after all. They were proven embarrassingly vulnerable in combat despite not facing well-armed adversaries. The loss of Iraqi Abrams has been similarly extreme as well. So any serious losses by Leopard 2 and Abrams tanks, particularly against Russia's armor or man-portable anti-tank weapon, it would be a major embarrassment that could seriously reduce foreign interest in acquiring those tanks. With both tanks being produced primarily for export, this would be unfavorable as both tanks face tough competition, particularly from more modern South Korean vehicles in the export market. The fact that export variants of the Abrams for Ukraine are unlikely to integrate depleted uranium armor, it would further seriously limit their ability to engage against Russian tanks. A third factor is cost. With even older variants of the M1 and Leopard 2, it is still by far the more expensive than all the vehicles already provided to Ukraine, and using the fuel-hungry and high-maintenance gas turbine engines will be very costly. Also, both tanks are neither manufactured on a large scale, meaning they would need to be drawn from reserve units, which could cost billions to replenish. It's also worth mentioning the amount of time needed to train new tanks crew to get familiar with the tank's basic function. For example, on average, the U.S. Army spent 5 months of training for new crew, and mostly Ukrainian tank crews are trained with Soviet-made tanks, so the retraining would even take longer to have a well-trained crew. We all know how good the equipment is. If the people manning them are not skilled enough, they're just going to be easily destroyed on the battlefield, just like what happened to the Turkish and Saudis. Fourth, the tanks are not compatible with Ukraine's existing armor inventories. The integration of new type of ammunition is one of the many issues. Fifth factor is that Western tanks, unlike the Russian and Soviet tanks, they're too heavy to be used on Ukraine's civilian infrastructure, places such as bridges and roads, which would limit the usefulness of the Abrams or the Leopard 2 compared to the lighter and more suitable T-72s. Spain, the Netherlands, Norway, and Greece all use the Leopard 2. None have filed for permission from Germany to supply them to Ukraine, nor has existing Abrams operators showing any inclination to supply them, although Kiev is expected to continue to request for more modern Western armor. So what do you think are the other factors? If you think I missed something, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching. If you want more topics like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you soon.